G'day folks, welcome to this summary of play for the PM turn on the 6th of June 1944 from this playthrough of Atlantic War D-Day to Falaise. Now, I played through this yesterday actually, and right at the end of the German player turn, Vassal crashed and I had to replay it all through again. I managed to get a screenshot of a small section right at the end so I could kind of have what I'd done, but yeah, for the most part, had to play through this whole turn twice, which wasn't so bad because picked up a few tactical considerations on the first playthrough, which I then implemented on the second playthrough. So what's happening here? Okay, units are hitting the beaches. We've cleared. So Utah Beach is clear, and so 4th and 9th Division are starting to get into the landing box and in the queue, and they can hit these beaches. And there's basically three segments going on here. There's first wave can land and move 2/3 of their movement. Anything in the queue can land. Sorry, then the second section, units can land and move half their movement. And then in the third segment, units can land and move 1/3 of their movement. So basically, yeah, this units are moving up. The biggest challenge for the Allies on the 6th of June is that they cannot enter prepared assault mode. So you can only have tactical assaults, and that basically limits you to 1 unit per attack. So you've got to be very careful. I've been trying to clear some of these Widerstand nests in this kind of vicinity, but it's not going well. It's not going bad, it's not going well. I have cleared out an infantry step that was in Widerstand Nest 2 down here. That's about all the progress I've made in this area. I'll sort of come back to this in a moment, but the German counterattack knocked out a small 82nd Airborne Company here near Lalande, and they're pushing in. You can see I've got my Kampfgruppe 921. They're starting to move in from the west. They've kind of pretty much arrived in this vicinity and are going to cause some trouble from the 92nd. Elsewhere, on this PM turn, I was able to form another 243rd Division Kampfgruppe. So I formed Kampfgruppe 922, and they're starting to move in from the west as well. Here they are. And again, this consists of 3 battalions, Pioneer Company, artillery, and an anti-tank step as well. And they'll be around somewhere. We also see a lot of the 709th being activated, so you can see these sort of yellow units within 22 hexes of some Anglice. So yeah, they're starting to come down. All that's really happening here is 4th and 90th, they're hitting the beaches, they're really tied up getting through these marshes, trying to use these tracks to get through. They can't get far. They're really stacking up, hoping for some good, they'll have some overwhelming prepared assaults on the AM turn on the 7th of June. That'll knock out that and that and that. So pretty soon we'll see this area cleared. It's difficult to do so on the 6th of June. I've been trying, but failing. And Germans also launched a counter-attack here, which was moderately successful, forced sort of the airborne to retreat, which is causing them some trouble. You can see they are very close now to that drop zone O. So yeah, a little bit scary around here. But down the south, on Comte de Mont, 101st has really pushed the Germans back behind the Douve River. And yeah, not much else happening. That's the story of the 82nd, 101st Utah Beach situation. Omaha Beach continues. Things are looking pretty good here. You can see I've got all but 1 beach cleared of obstacles. I have got 3 out of 4 of the draws breached. I have got units up into the exit boxes. So basically from the next turn, I think they can exit the exit boxes on the night turn. I'll have to double check that, but they'll start to hit Omaha Beach map. They can do that even though the beach isn't cleared. I can consolidate kind of these units. There's units Germans here, so that splits their consolidation efforts, and then I can consolidate these units out on the left. Okay, that's the broad story of what's happening. But at the same time, I don't want to move too much off the beach because I still need to clear some Widerstand nests and yeah, a lot of units still in the shingle box. Okay, so that's the story of Omaha Beach. It starts really tough. It's really scary. You'd lose a lot of units, as you can see down here. But gradually you find these little breaks and you push your units through the seawall and then up through the drawers, and it gradually comes together, but not without some anxiety and uncertainty. All right, the British beaches have been amazing. As I said, I think I said in the last video, Sword initially was a bit scary. I lost half my DD tanks, which, you know, is outside what you'd expect. But then they recovered and got some amazing rolls on hitting these Widerstand nests. It's a mess. So don't look too much at all these counters everywhere. Basically, you take, when the beach is cleared, you take the Centaurs and AVREs and place them up here, and they'll appear on the 7th. You can see up here as well. I need to separate the Centaurs from the AVREs, which I've done it over here. Oops. And then these formations will appear on the map on the 7th. Engineers are just tied down, clearing the obstacles. That's why all these engineers are along the beaches. They can't move off these displays until the 7th. But all these beaches are cleared. What I'm really shocked about is, I think, relatively little Commonwealth casualties. I'm just really surprised at how well that's doing. So same story as at Juno. They hit the beach in sort of 3 waves. First wave gets 2/3 movement, then half, then 1/3. I also had my commandos who had already hit the beach. They get this commando assault on the Widerstand nests at the end of each movement phase. And this turn, having learned from last turn where it didn't go, it was a bit mixed, this turn they had 100% success rate with no losses at all. So that worked really well, and that's why you can see pretty much no Widerstand nest. Douv's radar station holds. Again, I'm not going to risk assaulting this with a tactical assault. You can see I've brought up a Canadian 3rd Infantry Division to hit it hard on the 7th of June. But I've been bypassing as well, as much as is practical. So let's have a look. I'm going to zoom in on Gold Beach area. Kind of tied into the beach, can't go too far because of the positioning of German units. And keep in mind, this is after the German response as well. So, yeah, I've got the 50th Division landing, pushing out to Corelli, but not much further than that. Okay, Germans holding that line. The Germans have kind of tried to pull back, reform a little bit. We'll talk about that in a moment. The Canadian at Juno Beach, we did have a couple of units. Yeah, 27th Armoured Brigade have really good movement and can rush out. And then we got the sort of the third Canadian Infantry Division and the 51st. 51st is Tynan Tees, and so. No, 51st is the Highland Division. Sorry. Tynan Tees is 50th. 51st is Highland Division. They're moving out as well. Again, Douv's is a bit of a barrier. There were other German units around here as well. And Sword Beach, look, there's all these nests really close. And as I said, playing it safe, not tactically. I probably could have had a gamble here and there, but I just don't want to suffer unnecessary step losses. I say unnecessary step losses. I didn't want to suffer early step losses with these battalions. So playing it safe, trying to go around them. As you can see, I have been with some reconnaissance unit and whatever that is. That's interesting. I might have to break them down. But yeah. And elsewhere, the 6th Airborne consolidates and entrenches. They've got some decent defensive positions here now. All right, defensive 7, 3 anti-tank in an improved position. Defensive 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with 3 anti-tank in a position that is under construction. So I'll talk about the German response in just a moment. So that's what's happening there. I'm feeling okay. This feels so fragile, but yeah, doing okay. All right, so the German response. All right, so Germans got reinforcements coming in from the east. We did activate what is it, the 25th Regiment of the 12th SS. The 21st Panzer Division is activated. And I had mentioned in the last video I was going to try and attack the 6th Airborne. But they failed in their first instance. And then I just don't have the odds to hit it hard enough. And I'm just worried about losing more German losses. And I don't want to be throwing 21st Panzer Division valuable units against this airborne war. They've got 9 proficiency rating on defense, which is plus 10 dice roll modifier, minus 10 for the defenders. Just a bit scary. So deciding to play it safe with the 21st and actually split the 21st. I'm putting some elements of the 21st to the right. You can see some artillery down here. Putting a lot though to the left, where I really need to keep back 51st, 3rd Canadian, 50th Division as they'll be driving towards Caen. And I didn't just want to ignore that. I was worried, if I just sent everything to the right of the Orne River, it'd open the door to Caen. So trying to just set up a decent force. Got some artillery behind the lines. I brought the artillery back, saved a lot of it, which is pretty good. This is some more reinforcements from the 21st Panzer Division. And there's some elements of the 716th as well. So look, yeah, this is where, again, the Allies will go next. So they'll likely move up to this line. But they won't get their prepared assaults. Okay, far enough away where they want to launch some tactical assaults, they can try, but I've got some decent armour elements scattered throughout here. I think enough to hold the Allies in this area. This is a bit weaker around Bayeux. There are some elements of the 352nd which still haven't activated. Weak artillery, some small companies of the 736th Division attached to the 716th. So they're a bit weak, to be expected. Still waiting for some more reinforcements to come into this area. Here comes some 352nd from the bottom, still moving quite slow. I guess the saving grace here is that Omaha isn't clear. So we only have to look at Gold Beach, for the time being. You can see all these rotated units means they're not active yet. So it's kind of it's playing out quite. It's hard to say precisely where units are and where they were. I'm pretty sure 3rd Division was more aggressive on the 6th of June and pushed through this nest and linked up. Commandos in particular have been very. I should have probably linked up with the commandos. I was thinking about launching an attack on these nests again. And I realised you need at least 1 commando unit. So I stacked all these commandos up thinking that's 3 units, I'll be able to do this. Then I realised you need at least 1 of these units must have 2 or more steps. So they couldn't do anything. So in hindsight, maybe I should have moved them elsewhere. But I've committed to that. They're doing a good job, at least in kind of containing Usaham as well. So, yeah, look, you can see more waves waiting to come on in the Commonwealth beaches. As I said, this will open soon, and units can start landing straight onto Gold Beach. We just need to clear those paths. As I said, this had an infantry unit. I've cleared it off. That'll be wiped out in no time. Got to hold this kind of foothold on the west side of the Medway River. A lot of German forces coming through here. So we will have an opportunity to reorganise these fog of war units, get some airborne battalions in the area. You can see I've got my anti-tank units poised. I think the German armour is coming from the north. There's more on the way, I know that much, because they were just moving through Cherbourg. Here they come. These are the these are the old French tanks. Okay, so yeah, that's happening. various other artillery pieces coming down. So need to get move on. So as I said, night term coming up, and then we head into the 7th of June, where some of the shackles come off, both the Germans and the Allies. So freer movement for both sides. Be much more tense engagement on that 7th of June. More activity basically as things start to loosen up for movement and combat and so forth. So stay tuned. That'll be coming soon. Thanks all, and take care.